Hi everyone, I want to run through a couple of quick examples for 1.0.2. Basically, I want to use a couple of formulas that have exponents in them, but really I have a couple of big goals here, and they are: one, to remind you of some geometry formulas that I will expect you to just know off the top of your head. I think most of them should be really familiar. There might be a little bit in the volume that's new to you. And then the other one is using your units as you do your calculations. I have been someone who doesn't always do that, and I've been hearing more and more from our science teachers that they really want to see that, so I'm going to try and train myself and you to be good about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. The first question asks us to find the area of a square with side length 6 meters. So again, this is where I will just be assuming that you know the formula for the area of a square. Let's see if my pen will write. Why aren't you writing? Hold on. Technical difficulties already. There we go. Okay. Down here at the bottom, I have this whole list of formulas, and we are specifically looking for the area of a square, which is given by the formula A equals S squared, where S is the length of the side of the square. I didn't put all the details in these. If you don't know what my L's or W's mean, bug me or Google it really quickly, something like that. So here, the area of this square is going to be 6 centimeters squared. And this is what I'm saying about trying to include your units in these calculations. So notice that I have to square the 6 to get 36, and I also have to square the centimeters. So basically I'm multiplying 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters. When you do that, multiply a length by a length, you get an area. And I said it, but I didn't write it. Centimeters squared are going to be the units. Square centimeters are the units on an area. So in general, for 2D shapes, let's see, are they all here? I expect you, even more, to know how to find the area or perimeter of any of our basic 2D shapes. So squares, rectangles, triangles, and circles. Circles generally the trickiest to remember, so if you don't remember it, look at those two. Triangles have a little bit of extra stuff that I would like you to know. Notice, for starters, this one looks weird to people. Basically, there is no special formula for the perimeter of a triangle. You just add up the 3 sides. So if we have a triangle that looks like this, we would just add A, B, and C to get the perimeter. The other thing is, I do expect you to know the Pythagorean theorem, which says if your triangle is a right triangle, has a 90-degree angle, then the sum of the squares of the legs, so A squared plus B squared, will equal the square of the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always the side opposite the right angle. And we're doing algebra, so we'll want to be able to rearrange these ourselves, but just for this getting started, where we haven't really done a lot of algebra yet this quarter, I did rearrange them for you, so if you need that, you can use it. In, I don't know, I would say a fairly short while. We should be able to do that ourselves if we can already. Okay, so area and perimeter of our basic 2D shapes and the Pythagorean theorem. The second question asks us to find a volume. So I just have kind of a general statement at the bottom, and this will for us include, I don't know, probably mostly just 2 shapes this quarter. I say I want you to know the volume of a prism. And what a prism is when you take one of these basic 2D shapes, so squares, rectangles, triangles, or circles, and you turn them into a volume just by stretching that shape out. So for a square, if we have a square base, and then we stretch it out by something, I already don't like my 3D drawing, we'll get some sort of box. It could be a perfect cube where the length, the width, and the height are all the same. It could not be. The idea here would be we find the area of the base, so this square is my area, and we multiply by the height. So in general, for a box, you're going to multiply the length and the width of the bottom, and then you're going to multiply that by the height. So that's square and kind of rectangle we talked about as well. Triangle, this one I don't actually think we'll probably run into a lot, but it's the same idea, so I think it's worth bringing up. If the base of your shape is a triangle, and then you just add some volume by stretching that out, That's a triangular prism, so you'd find the area of the base, 1/2 base times height, and then you'd multiply it by the height of the shape, so I'm using height twice, but basically our triangle has a base and a height, and then our whole shape has, we'll call it a length, that you would multiply that area by. The one I do think we might see a little more often is what happens when you stretch out a circle, which is you get a cylinder. And again, the idea would be you find the area, pi r squared, and you multiply it by the height of this shape. Okay, so for us, we're looking at a cube, so that would be kind of like the picture we started with. The area of the base is s squared, and if it is a perfect cube, the height is also s. So area is s cubed. We specifically are looking at area equals side length of 4 inches, so we're cubing 4 inches. And again, what I want you to really pay attention to is what happens to your units. So I'm cubing the 4. 4 times 4 is 16, and then I have to multiply that by another 4, which will give me 64. And the inches are also cubed. So if you multiply a length by a length by a length, which is what we're doing in this problem, you get length cubed, which is volume. Okay, so just a little reminder of some formulas there, so check these out. Let me know if you have any questions, especially with the volume if that's new to you. And I think that's it.